Hi, my name's Abby, and my story reminds me of a scene from an old novel, or maybe a clerk's nightmare. Anyway, it definitely isn't something that can happen in real life. I always knew I was ugly, not just unattractive or having particular insecurities, but really ugly. My posture is quite weird. There is even a little hunch on my back. I'm overweight and my face is asymmetrical, even though I remember about this all the time. Of course, there always were a lot of people who gladly reminded me about my ugliness. I preferred to take everything easy and not to die because of this horrible and unfair world. After all, it wasn't my fault that my appearance was far from perfect. So why bother? Maybe someday when I grow up, I'll save some money for plastic surgery, but for now, I should make lemonade out of lemons which life gives me. That day I had everything, except for money and a nice appearance to be precise. I had a loving family, all members who were actually circus performers. A job that I adored almost from infancy. I even had fans. Yeah, you heard that right. I really had admirers who waited for me with flowers after the show. Despite my specific appearance or even ugliness, I performed in the circus since I was 3. That's kind of usual for every circus kid. Honestly, I've never gotten any sweet or cute parts. I've worked for my parents and played, well, different freaks and dwarves. But after years of practice, I finally got my own show, which our audience liked very much. I attended school only for the first 3 years, because of my appearance. I didn't like it there. Children laughed at me and their parents asked the principal to expel me. They did it right in front of me. For real. So when I was homeschooled by my parents, my joy knew no bounds. Such a thing is also usual for the kids like me. I had my own world. The circus, especially that side of it, which only performers could see, was my world. I had friends there, people that truly loved me, and I was entirely happy trying to forget my first grades at school. Certainly, I still had a mirror, and there still were people who reminded me about my appearance. They were the only reason why I couldn't enjoy my dream life to the fullest. And also, logic. The point is that my parents are quite usual. I can say they are even beautiful. My grandparents also are. I saw their photos on circus posters. Since the age of 10, I've started to ask myself, how did it happen that such normal and healthy people gave life to somebody like me? I ignored that fact for some time. I would probably live my whole life loved and protected by my family and friends. Oh, by the way, I had a pretty nice income and a great career. Everything that didn't fit into my perfect picture of the world, I simply ignored. The leads in Cirque du Soleil invited me to take their part in their show. They promised to call me once again when I'll be 18. I was in the newspapers and even got a boyfriend. He was a circus performer too. So I can tell you that my personal life was pretty successful as well. But the horrible thing happened, the one which ruined my life. I was sorting through some circus props from the old trunks and suddenly found my mother's old diaries and several things, which confused me a lot. I probably should have taken everything in its place, but I was interested in how my parents' lives looked before my birth. In that dang diary, I've read things that literally killed me and affirmed my suspicions. The weird things which I found turned out to be more than just an ordinary circus prop. I was holding tools of torture in my hands. Tools of my torture. Just after, my birth parents decided to make an experiment. The diary didn't contain any sources, so I was not sure where Mom and Dad learned such things. Instead, I found precise instructions on how to transform a normal child into a freak. Into me, to be precise. So my appearance was not a Mother Nature's mistake. It was a result of horrendous and inhumane actions of my parents. I had the only question, why? Why did my family do this to me? My mind was not ready to take all these details as a real fact. They were more like a fantastic story or film scene. But unfortunately, I could literally feel the truth on my face. I went to my parents right away and asked for explanations, but they didn't give me anything satisfactory enough. They told me the truth and were not denying anything. Instead, they tried to prove how nice everything worked. Why should I bother if I have a great career, money, and a sustainable future? Yeah, and a horrific face as a bonus. I left the circus that evening. Now I rent an apartment using my savings, and also I'm writing a book about my life. I have no idea what I should do next, but I'm sure that I will never come back to my parents.
Hi, my name is Jessica, and I'm Abby's mother. Yes, if you read those outlandish newspapers, you'll know that I'm that vicious and insidious woman who ruined her child's life. Everything, though, was not all that it seemed. Well, maybe a little bit, but the newspapers definitely twisted the most important part. Abby didn't realize what was going on when she appeared that day. I'm sure she'll understand after growing up a bit more. We wish her the very best. People don't see what happens when the circus lowers its curtain. They think it's only fun and joy, but all the breaks, mistakes, and falls stay behind the scenes. But for us performers, they can cost us everything. Even if we manage to pull through the physical injuries, the emotional side of this business can be hard. Nervous breakdowns, failures, fear that the audience won't like the new performance, we've got it all. And if I had a choice, I would never wish that for my kid. Unfortunately, at the time, we were completely devoted to the circus business. That was right when Abby was born. The ringmaster of the circus we worked for gave us advice on how we can help our daughter to avoid all the failures. One of his ancestors managed a freak show in the 18th century and wrote about it in his diaries. At first, we were shocked and outraged even by the idea of doing such a thing to our own child. Then we discussed all sides and ultimately agreed. It is very important to know the background of the story. You can be ordinary or even very beautiful and still not be interesting enough for the crowd. Even insanely talented people stay in the shadows. They can hurt themselves during a performance and end up with nothing. Every show is a risk. If the audience won't love them, they're out. But freaks... People always love freaks, even if they're not respected outside of the circus. Usually people fear and avoid them along with beggars or sick individuals. It's a subconscious thing, so we don't judge. But on stage, in the spotlight, freaks have everything. Not without some hesitation, we decided to try it out. And we made the right call. Our little girl became popular at once. As soon as she started her first performance, she immediately got the love and approval of the audience. It was huge luck to have a place on the poster at just the age of 3. And there she was, our little girl. From that time, she was never one to be behind the scenes. Abby was a huge hit. And as she grew older, she could show more to the audience, and a number of her fans grew along with her. She wouldn't have anything like that if she was ordinary. I know that she had problems. Children from her school bullied her, so we decided that homeschooling would be a better option. We wanted her to be strong, but we definitely didn't wish any suffering on her. So we tried to reduce her outside contacts. And believe me, she hasn't lost anything. Instead, she's gained everything. There are true friends here in the circus. I was sincerely happy for my little girl and thought that it would always be like that for her. The pleasure from thoughts that it was me who made her so popular and successful overwhelmed me. I beat nature at its own game. She brought us money, too, and a lot of it. Earlier, we could only dream about such income. People are not just entertained by mimes or acrobats nowadays. It's freaks. That's where the money's at. And besides, we're too old to perform. So it was our daughter who financially provided for the whole family. Darn diaries. I swear, I've just forgotten about them. At the time, we tried to take notes on every step of the experiment. I wrote it all down, the parameters and changes, in case we'd like to have another kid. But then we hid the notes and all the other stuff so that strangers wouldn't find them. But I guess they weren't hidden safely enough. We tried to convince our daughter that everything went just according to plan, but she didn't listen. She called us sadistics and monsters. She even tried to hit her father. I attempted to prove that she wouldn't get anything she has now without her appearance. She demonstrated her middle finger and left. Now my husband and I are told that we must testify in court, and I think we're facing jail time. And for what? Appearances aren't such a big deal. They go to waste when you get older anyway. And to be honest, Abby was not very pretty in the beginning, so we helped her gain everything she has. And we're judged because of that? My lawyer advised me to plead guilty, but I I won't do that. And I would definitely repeat that experiment if I had the chance. Share your opinion on the story and its characters in the comment section below. Like the video, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe.